All right, Shalom, Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha, Quadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another article. They're pretty much intending to scare you people into taking more of the taco juice. And you should know what I mean by the taco juice, the VACCINE that is responsible for deleting many people suddenly. Now, I remember when I first came into the truth, they had this whole Ebola scare going around where, they made claims that, there were people who were getting on airplanes. You had people getting on airplanes with the shit, And they had some earlier images of the Ebola where basically because they say that from what I know from my research, they say that it causes a hemorrhagic fever. If you don't know what a hemorrhagic fever is when you're bleeding from within, and basically it melts all your insides. And basically the E scares back in the news. So I'm gonna read some of this article here because when you go to the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, right, the Lord spoke about all the diseases of Egypt, which are not written in the book of this law. Them shall the Lord bring upon you, not you, but bring upon the Israelites in general, and we also understand that that shit like Ebola was created really to bring judgment on the disobedient and the rebellious amongst the people of our nation. So it says the spread of the rare Bundibugyo strain has triggered travel restrictions and emergency responses. And you see, they can create boogie viruses like this, right? Or virus. You gotta choose your words carefully because of YouTube's algorithms. But they can create viruses like this just to justify draconian laws. They can say that, oh yeah, Ebola is very dangerous. People are melting everywhere. We have to ban or restrict the ability for people to get on planes. And right before you know it, they're going to start IDing people. You're going to need an ID, so they can be able to tell if you have the damn virus or not, man. So, we know that this damn virus is man-made, okay? Because Ebola is not some shit that's just gonna naturally just pop up, Like you just wake up one day and Ebola right there. What's up, bro? Nah, man. Nah. Nah, no, Ebola is man-made. And this is just one of many diseases that Esau, when I say Esau, I speak about the self-proclaimed white man that he have patents on and have manufactured in a lab. Okay? So it says health authorities across Africa, right? Because we also understand that Africa is also a testing ground for these different diseases that are being manufactured in these secret underground laboratories. You know, Africa, Esau's not going to test it on his own people in Europe. He ain't going to use it on the people in Australia. No, he going to do it in Africa, where Ham is at. The Hamites, which are the Africans, okay? So it says health authorities across Africa are struggling to contain an Ebola outbreak. And you got to ask yourself, like, where the fuck is all this shit coming from? You know? Like, well, where's all this shit coming from, man? You know? Because, 1 minute it died down. And then the next minute it's back in the news. It's spreading. It's becoming a universal threat. So they're struggling to contain a Ebola outbreak centered in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, okay, which is, you get your acronym for DR Congo. It says, according to the World Health Organization. Man, I forgot to buy some hand sanitizer. Oh, well. Anyways, I guess it can wait. It says, oh, okay, yeah. This is a screenshot I took of this thing. It says, according to WHO, that more than 900 suspected, and now these are suspected cases, right? And the thing is that with the web, Esau can play around with the numbers, He can make it go from 900. He can make it go to 400. He can make it go up to like in the thousands. Like, you see what I'm saying? Oh, I finally got hot water. Hell yeah. That means I can take a shower. Fucking finally. Goddamn. Anyways. Okay, it says, so it says more than 900 suspected Ebola cases have now been registered across the Democratic Republic of Congo, including 101 laboratory confirmed infections in neighboring Uganda health authorities. And now Esau can easily come out and say, well, some of these some black crusty yellow teeth nigga, big feet, big black ashy crusty feet as African who had Ebola got on a plane and somehow he magically ended up over here to the United States. Okay, I mean, why not, right? They did it with Crown Royale 19, right? Who's to say that he can't do this? He can't pull the same stunt with this Ebola outbreak. Oh yeah, in the LA brothers, they made a beautiful point. Every 6 years, there's always a new disease outbreak. Okay. Now I think the very first time we heard about Ebola was back in 2014. And then in 2020, what did we hear about? We heard about Crown Royale 19. Hey, so you know what? We're looking right at you devils, man. We're looking right at you Edomites. And we see what Esau's doing, man. Okay? Because six is his favorite number. Okay? Okay? All you false prophets out there, You know, you're lying to your congregation, okay? When the time of judgment comes, man, Ebola is something that you're gonna have to worry about because you're not warning your congregation about it. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28, right? Because the Lord said in all the diseases of Egypt, let me see. Our precious God, Yahweh, our precious Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai. Let me see. Where can I find that at? Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, let me see with the camera. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. I'm just gonna scroll down here. Bear with me for one moment. Okay, all the diseases of Egypt. Okay, because ultimately we know that the Edomites rule and control modern day Egypt, which is the United States of America. Okay, you go to Revelation 11 verse 8. Okay, Babylon, that great city, is spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. Let's see. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Deuteronomy 28:58. I just want to read this real quick for edification. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, Yahweh, thy God. Okay. Allah Nawa, I believe that's how you say it, our God. Okay. The Lord will make thy plagues wonderful. And Ebola is a plague. Okay. And it does wonderful things to people's bodies, man. Okay, it melts away at their bones, their organs, and their meat, their tissue, all that stuff inside their body, man. Okay, that's a wonderful plague. So the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues of long continuance and sore sicknesses of long continuance. Moreover, who's the he? Esau, the so-called white man, the one responsible for manufacturing one of many disgusting and violent diseases such as Ebola in the lab. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, or the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of. And yeah, Ebola is definitely a virus to be afraid of, you know. Now, hey, look, if you're of the elect, you ain't got to worry about Ebola. The Lord is not going to give his elect men Ebola. Okay. Okay. So he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. And when you go into that word destroy, the word destroy literally means to break down. Okay. I believe it's D-E, which means down or down from. And then we got stroy, or, which goes into struct. So destruct means to debuild. It's the opposite of building. And Ebola basically breaks down a person's body until there's nothing but skin left, And there's all kind of images that you can find on the internet of the poor victims of Ebola. Okay. And ye shall be left few in number, right? Which the elect will be the last ones standing when Yahushua comes back to when he makes his grand debut, his grand return to deliver his elect men. Okay, the elect will be the ones standing, because the Lord is not going to give his elect men Ebola. So ye shall be left few in number, and this is a message toward the Israelites. Okay, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for a multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of Yahweh thy God. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom. Is on to the next one.